As you may know, I am the child of educators. I'm raised by parents who are teachers, and as many of you may know, one of them is a coach. A couple months ago, my dad, Chuck Kyle, announced he will retire next year after 50 years at St. Ignatius High School. I was bombarded with questions, two of them being, how is it that he had such an impact on those kids? And then the second question, will you do a story the day after Super Bowl?
Yep, gotcha.
This is my dad. You know, the guy who taught me to ride a bike, how to drive, always got me flowers on Valentine's Day, and who walked me down the aisle. Dad.
Could you even count how many guys that you have coached or taught?
But there are a lot of people out there.
Definitely, solidly into the thousands. Solidly. Considering rosters, there were times when we had rosters of 100 kids on the varsity roster, right?
That he helped raise.
In all honesty, there is that type of relationship. It's not the power of a parent. Come on, that's not it. But it is more than just a friendship.
Cannot fear losing, fellas.
The idea that the coach showed that kind of interest in the young kids' development. Well, that's what parents do, right?
He counts his wins not by the scoreboard, but what his guys learn, especially those on second and third string.
A lot of those guys have gone on to be CEOs of companies, huge successes in life. And they weren't the stars of the team, okay? But what did they learn? They learned, well, come on, take your pride, throw it in the back seat, get it out of the way, don't get that silly pride, and realize that you're contributing to the group, okay?
For us, his own kids, we weren't throwing any touchdown passes.
I mean, your brother Dan was cross-country runner. I mean, people, he's son of the coach, so he has to be some football. No, he's cross-country runner. He was good at that.
Yeah.
You know, he was on a state championship cross-country team. Yeah. That was his thing. That's okay. That's great. Wonderful. Find your niche. Yeah. Go for it, you know.
Was it a hard left turn with 3 girls in the house?
Well.
Were we a lot different?
Well, the history, see, you have to go back another generation. Your grandmother would have loved to have had a daughter.
Yeah.
But I was the youngest of 4 boys, okay? So I really had no experience whatsoever of young girls being in a house. I had none. So that was, it was interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just came home and, you know, if they wanted to play Barbies, I guess I was Ken. I don't know. Yeah, you laugh now, okay.
I remember that. I remember.
Yes. I had to be Ken or whatever.
And he was so fun.
Mom used to get a little upset because I'd get home late and she'd say, oh, everybody's ready to go to bed. They're going to bed. And I'd go up there and then we'd start giggling and telling stories. And she's going, can you bring them to bed, please? They got to go to bed. You know.
And even though he's retiring from St. Ignatius next year, he won't give up teaching. Not now that he has my 3 daughters who think Grandpa hung the moon.
Happy birthday to you.
Kids can play for like 2 minutes and then run over and play 2 minutes over here. But if you can, you're playing something and it lasts for 25 minutes and they're still having fun with it, that's good. They have that they build that type of staying power to something. I always thought that was important.
And we obviously left a lot on the cutting room floor. We talked for about an hour, and we talked a lot about how he got through to kids. It's a magical ability that he's always had. He talked about using your best talents, like taking on challenges. And one of the things he talked about was that the guys that he coached, they don't come back and talk about the blowout games, the games where they won by a lot. He says they always talk about the games that came down to the last few seconds because it was that thrill of a challenge, and that's where they really learned a lot about themselves and how to work hard. He let us choose our own interests. He supported that no matter what. He made it fun. And something that I think was key, he was so good at diversion, like turning the mood around in situations. So you might have noticed like my teen angst photo that was there where I looked like I wasn't happy to be there. I think that was at Niagara Falls, and I'm probably, 15 in that picture. And there was another picture I wish I would have grabbed. I didn't want to wear the poncho because I was like, oh, this is so ugly. I can't believe I'm wearing a poncho. You know, I'm too cool to wear a poncho. And then all of the other pictures, he was like, well, if it's too ugly to wear, then we should be in disguise. And so he had us like put our fingers up here and pretend that we were wearing fake mustaches with our fingers. And he's like, you gotta be in disguise, you gotta be in disguise. So he just like turned every situation fun and into something funny so that we kept our interest. And then I wasn't a crabby teen wearing a poncho anymore after that one.
What a great story. Thanks for sharing that.
Thanks.
And, you know, it's not just the X's and O's. I mean, he just knows people. And
Yeah.
you made that very clear there in the success.
Right.
And, you know, it's amazing to think, you know, all those boys on the football field and all the girls when you come home.
Right.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, the best of both worlds.
That's right.